Welcome to Midnight Calm Stories.
Before we begin, tell me what time is it where you are right now, and where in the world are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I'm always watching the map grow. Now, do me a favor. Take a deep breath, turn off your lights, get comfortable, slide under the blanket, and put your headphones in. Let the world around you fall quiet, because we're going somewhere loud, cold, and forgotten by time. If you enjoy stories like this, dark, immersive, and heavy with silence, out that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe. We don't tell stories just to entertain you. We tell them to remind you what survival really costs. Now let me take you back to a time of mud and steel, fire and fear, because tonight you'll find out why you wouldn't survive a night in a medieval battlefield camp. You arrive at the edge of the camp just before sunset. The sky is bleeding, not with color, but with smoke. Thick, gray trails rising from dozens of scattered fires. You smell it long before you see anything. Burnt meat, wet straw, sweat, and something sharp underneath it all, like iron, like blood. You don't speak to anyone. No one welcomes you. No one cares who you are. They've seen 100 like you this week, and most of them won't be here next week. The ground squelches beneath your boots. The mud isn't just rain, it's waste, piss, old blood, ale spilled from trembling hands. You step carefully, but it doesn't matter. Your feet are soaked through in seconds. You'll sleep in those boots, and you'll wake with your toes frozen or rotten, or both. Someone points without looking toward the back. New arrivals sleep near the latrines. There's no tent, no bedroll, just a patch of damp ground and a lice-infested wool blanket someone left behind, probably because they died in it. Your stomach growls, but there's nothing to eat. The stew pot is already empty. A dark crust clings to the sides like barnacles on a shipwreck. You consider scraping it with your finger, but the man guarding the pot has a knife, and he's looking for a reason. So you sit and you wait. The cold creeps in like a thief, quiet, patient, cruel. There's no fire near you, only the dim orange glow from a distant flame, too far to feel, close enough to watch, and envy. You pull your cloak tighter. It's damp. Everything is damp. The kind of wet that doesn't dry, just soaks deeper into your bones. A man nearby coughs once, then again, until it turns into something worse. A rasp, a wet, choking sound. He spits. You hear it, land thick, heavy. You don't look. You don't want to know what color it is. Dawn is still hours away, and the cold is worse now, sharper, more personal. It creeps under your clothes, behind your knees, into your ribs. You pull your cloak tighter, but it might as well be paper. You haven't slept, not really, just drifted, half aware, as the rats made their nightly rounds. The man beside you coughs again, worse this time, wet. His breath rattles. You can feel the fever radiating off him. You think of moving, of putting distance between you, but your legs are stiff and there's nowhere to go. So you lie still, listening to him slowly fall apart. A boy nearby starts crying. Quietly, he's trying not to, but the sound escapes anyway. He can't be more than 13. No one comforts him. No one even turns their head. They all hear it. They just don't want to be reminded they used to cry too. You close your eyes, not to block it out, just to pretend you're somewhere else. Anywhere else. A shout breaks the silence. Rough voices, leather boots squelching through mud. Two soldiers appear silhouettes against the low firelight. They drag someone between them. He's limp, barely conscious, clothes soaked through with sweat. They're taking him to the fever tent. You've heard of it. A canvas shelter that sags in the middle. No fire, no straw, just a patch of dirt and a bucket of black water. The healer visits once, sometimes twice. Most don't come back out. You've passed it before. It smells sweet, sickly sweet, like spoiled fruit left in the sun and blood. They drop him inside without a word. One of the guards spits. The other makes the sign of the cross. Then they're gone. The camp is quieter now. Even the wind seems to hold its breath. A dog barks in the distance. Once, then nothing. You sit up slowly. Your knees pop. Your spine protests. You stretch your neck. The pain is dull, but constant. The kind of pain that never leaves. It just waits for permission to get worse. You stare into the nearest fire. It's dying. The coals blink like tired eyes. There's something comforting about it. Simple, honest. You feel like you could fall into it. Not the flames, just the warmth. Just for a moment. Then something moves near the edge of the camp. A shape, not a man. Too low, too quick. You tense. Hand on your sword, but it's gone. Vanished into the mist. Was it a dog? A thief? Something worse? You'll never know, and you won't go check. Because out here, the dark isn't empty. It's watching, listening. And if you step too far, you might not come back. You're not sure how long it's been since nightfall. Time moves differently here, slower, cruel. You feel like you've been sitting in this mud for days. The cold has settled into your joints like it plans to stay. Your hands no longer shake. They just feel absent, like they belong to someone else. Your stomach growls again, louder this time. You press your cloak against it, as if the pressure might quiet the pain. It doesn't. It only reminds you how empty you are. A man a few feet away bites something. The sound is sharp, crunching, too loud for bone. You glance over. It's a beetle, large, still twitching. He pops it into his mouth like it's nothing. Doesn't even flinch. You look away, but not because you're disgusted. You're jealous. You think, if one crawled across your foot right now, you wouldn't let it get far. The air smells different now, heavier, thicker. You hear whispering. At first, you think it's behind you, then beside you, then inside your head. You blink hard, rub your eyes. Nothing, just men, just fires, just shadows. But the whispering doesn't stop. You look across the camp at a line of men standing in the dark, perfectly still, facing nothing. You count 6 of them. No movement, no breath. Then a breeze cuts through the camp and they vanish, gone, as if they were never there. You shut your eyes tight, too tired to be afraid, too hungry to care if you're losing your mind. Someone laughs, a soft, broken laugh, not joyful, not mocking, just empty. It comes from a soldier curled into himself, arms wrapped around his knees, rocking slightly, muttering words you don't recognize. He laughs again, then stops, doesn't move again. You try to lie down. Your back sinks into the cold muck. You no longer care about the smell, or the damp, or the crawling things. You just want the ache in your skull to stop. You just want to forget this place, but your thoughts won't stop. They echo loud and fast, like boots across stone. And under it all, you still hear that whispering. You think of home, but the memory is thin, unreliable, like trying to recall a dream after waking. Was there a fire, a dog, a mother's voice? You don't know anymore. You feel something touch your ankle. You sit up quickly, too quickly. Your vision swims, but there's nothing there. just a wet imprint in the dirt. Too small to be a man, too light to be a rat. You don't ask questions. You don't want answers. Not here. You curl in on yourself. Pull your cloak over your head. Close your eyes and hope the whispering finally stops. You open your eyes. You hadn't meant to fall asleep. If you even did, it's hard to tell anymore. Your head feels heavier. Your breath shallow. The sky above is still black. Clouds drift like ash across the stars. When the stars appear at all, no moon, just smoke, endless, choking smoke. You sit up slowly. Your body protests, muscles stiff, joints locked. You ache in places you didn't know could ache. Nothing has changed. Men still sleep beside fires that barely burn. Some lie alone, faces turned to the sky like corpses. Others huddle together for warmth, silent, shivering lumps beneath wet blankets. Someone moans nearby, a long, low groan, not pain, not fear, just exhaustion. You hear boots again, not close, but constant. It doesn't matter. No one's going to protect you out here. And if they're not walking toward you, then there's someone else's problem. You stretch your legs, your knees crack. Your toes are stiff and damp inside your boots. You consider pulling them off, letting your feet breathe, but you don't, because if you take them off now, you might not get them back on, and barefoot in this camp is a death sentence. Somewhere in the dark, someone retches, violent, repeated. It goes on too long, then stops, then starts again. No one checks on him. You listen until the sound fades into gurgling, then silence. That silence doesn't comfort you. It just means there's one less voice in the night. You stare at the nearest fire. Watch the orange coals pulse, like a dying heart, flickering, beating slower every minute. You wish it would go out, not because you're cold, but because watching it makes you remember what warmth used to feel like. It's better not to remember. A man nearby talks in his sleep, not loudly, just a few words repeated over and over, a name or maybe a prayer. You can't tell, and you don't ask. Everyone here is haunted by something. Better to let ghosts talk to ghosts. You rub your hands together, not to warm them, just to move, to feel something, to remind yourself you're still alive. For now, you notice your blade beside you, still there, still heavy, still useless. You haven't drawn it since you arrived. Tomorrow, they say, there might be a skirmish, but tonight, the only thing you'll kill is sleep. Somewhere behind you, someone starts crying. A man this time, muffled, not from fear, not from pain, just quiet sobbing. The sound of something breaking slowly, like ice or glass or a man's mind. You close your eyes again, because here in the camp, the worst sound in the world isn't screaming, it's waiting. It's still dark, the kind of dark that makes you question your own shape. You hold your hand in front of your face and see nothing, not even the suggestion of skin. The fire's gone out. Even the coals have cooled. You're not sure when it happened. Maybe while you dozed. Maybe while you stared into nothing. But it's colder now, not just around you, inside you. The kind of cold that no cloak can fix. You hear breathing, but not your own. Heavy, close. Behind you, you freeze. It goes on, slow, wet, then stops. You don't turn around. You don't want to see who or what it was, because in this place, you've started to believe that not everything out here is alive, but some things still move. Somewhere across the camp, a blade is drawn. You recognize the sound instantly, the metallic scrape of steel on leather. Then footsteps, running fast, then shouting, then silence. You hear no clash of swords, no cries, no struggle, just silence. Worse than any scream. You shift slightly. Your hands are trembling now, not from cold, not only something's building inside you, not panic, not quite fear, a pressure, like your body's trying to crawl out of itself. Like your mind knows this place is wrong, but has nowhere else to go. Someone coughs, not far, then gags, then spits. You hear it land, thick, wet. They're not going to make it. You know that sound. You've heard it 4 times tonight already. Every time it ends the same way. But you say nothing. Because if you talk to them, you'll start hoping they'll survive. And hope is the quickest way to break. You lie back. Your head hits the ground, hard, but you don't flinch. Pain is background noise. Now, you close your eyes, not to sleep, just to block it all out. But your ears won't let you rest. You hear footsteps again. Soft this time, deliberate, slow. Someone or something is walking the camp, not checking, not patrolling, just passing through, like they belong here, like they've always been here. You hold your breath, count slowly. 1, 2, 3. The steps fade. You exhale. Quietly, a man starts humming. Low, melodic, wrong. It's a tune you've never heard, but it feels familiar, like something from a fever dream. The kind that leaves you sweating and crying without knowing why. Then he stops, mid-note. You never hear him again. The night is thinning, but the fear is thickening. You know dawn is coming, but you're starting to wonder what kind of light will rise. Over a place like this, you feel it before you see it. A shift in the air, subtle, thin, like the cold is starting to lose its grip, but hasn't let go. You open your eyes. The sky is still dark, but the black has dulled to a kind of blue-gray, faint, miserable, like a bruise just beginning to bloom. It's not dawn, not yet, but it's close enough to lie about it. The camp is quieter than before, not calm, empty. Some of the men are gone. You don't know where. Maybe to piss, maybe to pray, maybe to disappear. You don't ask, you don't move. Movement invites questions, and questions invite attention. And attention is a dangerous thing out here. The fire you'd been watching is nothing now, just a ring of wet ashes, still warm if you pressed your hand into it. Some of them never moved again. You sniff, immediately regret it. The air is thicker now, with the smell of waste, old sweat, stale rot, and something metallic, thin and sharp, like rust or blood. You try to breathe through your mouth, but the taste is worse. The fever tent is nearby. You didn't realize how close until now. The canvas flaps move slightly in the breeze, like something inside is trying to escape. You hear coughing, a wet, rattling sound, then a thud. Maybe a body fell, maybe a bowl. Either way, no one checks. No one ever checks. You sit up. Your spine pops. Your shoulders ache. Your neck feels made of stone. Your breath fogs slightly in the air. Thin streams of white, like smoke rising from a dying chimney. You watch it vanish. Wish you could vanish with it. A cart rolls past, pulled by a horse too tired to resist. 2 soldiers walk beside it, faces blank. One chews a root slowly, the other doesn't blink. In the back of the cart, bodies, stacked like firewood, wrapped in sacks, some still twitching. You look away, but the image stays, burned behind your eyes like a brand. Somewhere near the edge of the camp, a trumpet blows. Once, low, mournful, not a signal, not a call to arms, just a reminder. Morning is coming, and with it, marching, shouting, fighting, and maybe dying. You rise, slowly, knees stiff, back screaming. The man beside you hasn't moved. You don't check if he's breathing, because whether he is or not doesn't change what happens next. The sun rises, but it doesn't feel like a beginning. It feels like something being revealed, like rot under a lifted stone. The light is gray, pale, distant, more shadow than sun. It crawls across the camp slowly, touching everything you tried not to see. The blood, the cracked boots, the rats dragging scraps from last night's dead, the men who didn't move when it got cold and still haven't. No one cries, no one wails, not even for the dead. Grief takes too much energy, and you'll need every drop of strength just to stand. You force yourself up. Your legs don't bend properly. Your feet are numb in your boots. You feel every bone shift under your skin, as if your body is questioning your decisions. But you rise, because not rising means being mistaken for a corpse, and that gets you thrown in the cart. You scan the camp. More men are stirring, not waking stirring, like broken things trying to remember what movement is. A line is forming near the water barrel. It's nearly empty. You consider joining it. Then you see the man at the front. He dips his tin cup, takes a sip, spits it back to green. Too late in the cycle. You stay where you are. A commander walks past. His armor shines, clean, polished. You don't know how or why. He doesn't look at you, not once. He stares over the camp, eyes fixed on the horizon, the place where the road turns, where battle waits. You hear someone sharpening a blade. The scraping is rhythmic, metal against stone, hope against reality. Some men check their gear, some pray, some vomit. You do nothing, not out of calm, but because there's nothing left to do. Your sword is already tied to your hip. Your stomach is already empty, and your thoughts have already left you. The sky brightens. It's ugly, colorless, not the kind of morning people write about. There are no birds, no breeze, just the sound of boots in wet earth and the groan of dying men trying to stand. You watch two boys argue over a piece of bread. One wins, the other doesn't fight back, just sits, stares at the ground. He'll die soon. You know the look of someone who's lost the part of himself that wanted to live. The horn sounds again, louder this time. It's not a call to eat. It's not a call to move. It's a call to march. You take one last breath of the cold, dirty air and step forward. Not toward hope, not toward glory, just forward. Because the worst part of surviving the night is knowing you still have the day ahead. The line moves, not quickly, not orderly, just moves like a wound, slowly reopening. Men gather what little they have. Blankets soaked in dew, bent helmets, rust-bitten swords, hopes too small to name. You do the same, not because you believe in the fight. The camp stirs like a disturbed graveyard. Figures rise from the ground, mud-cloaked, eyes hollow, mouths set in tight, silent lines. You wonder if some of them died in the night and no one noticed. You wonder if anyone would notice you. You pass the fever tent. Its flaps hang limp. A boot sticks out from beneath the canvas, just one. Its owner doesn't move. Someone drags the body out with a hook, tosses it into a cart without looking twice. No one prays. No one asks a name. Here, death doesn't need a reason. It just needs a schedule. You spot the boy from before, the one who lost the bread. He's not with the column. still sitting, still staring at the dirt. A fly lands on his cheek. He doesn't brush it away. You almost stop, almost, but you keep walking. You've already carried too many ghosts. A man near the edge of camp panics, tries to run. He doesn't make it 10 feet before 2 guards drag him down. Their clubs are quick, efficient. By the time they're done, he's quiet. They leave him there, 1 boot missing. The line moves on. You tighten your belt, feel the blade at your side. It's heavy, not with steel, with memory. You haven't used it yet, not in a real fight, not where blood makes the handle slick. But you will, soon, because in an hour, you'll be ordered to kill someone you've never met, to protect something you'll never own, for someone you'll never see. The trees at the edge of camp are thinning now. Beyond them, open land, trampled earth, smoke in the sky. And behind that smoke, the enemy. You don't know what they look like, don't care. They're scared, too, just like you. And just like you, they were woken before dawn, given a sword, and pointed toward death. A captain walks past. He tells you to form ranks. He tells you to remember your training. He tells you this is the day that matters. You don't answer, because none of that matters. What matters is that you're still walking, still breathing, still here, for now. You cross the final line of tents, step over discarded armor, through blood-streaked mud. You don't look back, because what's behind you was never meant to be survived. You march, not fast, not strong, just forward. Your boots sink into soft, torn earth. Each step pulls like a weight. Mud clings to your soles, like the dead clinging to memory. No one talks. There's no chant, no drums, just the sound of armor rattling over ribs and the dry rasp of breath. The sun has risen, but it brings no warmth. You pass the edge of the forest. The camp vanishes behind you, swallowed by fog and distance. Good. You don't want to see it again. You don't want to remember what you became there. A crow flies overhead, not away, not toward anything, just above, waiting. You count at least 5 more in the trees. They know. They always know. Crows don't care about sides. They care about what's left after. Ahead, the captain raises his hand. You stop. The front of the line fans out. Shields shift. Helms go on. You do the same, though your hands barely cooperate. Your fingers feel like stone. Your joints are stiff. Your heart is slower than it should be. You don't feel ready. You never will. Across the field, you see them. The enemy. They look just like you. Mud on their boots. Terror in their posture. Shields shaking in their arms. You squint. One of them can't be older than 15. Neither can the boy 2 spots to your left. The captain gives a signal. Voices shout behind you. Orders, positioning, noise to fill the space where courage should be. You stare at the line ahead. Men, not monsters, not demons, just others. You wonder if any of them ate or slept or cried when no one was looking. You wonder if they're wondering the same about you. The man beside you whispers something, a name, maybe a prayer. You don't ask, because if he dies, you don't want to remember it. You grip your sword. It feels heavier than ever, not because it's metal, but because it's real now. No more drills, no more imagined battles. This one breathes, this one bleeds, and you will too. The horn sounds, not distant this time, not ceremonial. This one means run. You don't move yet. No one does. Then a voice shouts. Then another. Then feet pound the earth. The line surges forward, clumsy, furious, hopeless. You run with them, because you're too scared not to, because the night didn't kill you, but this might. You run. You don't remember choosing to. Your legs move without asking, like they're trying to escape your body. The ground is uneven, ripped apart by carts, horses, and men who ran before you and never came back. You feel breath burning your throat. Your armor clinks with each stride. Your sword bangs against your hip, still in its sheath. You haven't drawn it yet. Can't. Your hand won't close properly. Around you, men scream. Not battle cries, not orders, just noise. Frightened, directionless noise. The kind animals make before slaughter. The lines crash, like waves made of metal and bone. The sound isn't like stories. It's not clean, not cinematic. It's dull, blunt, like meat hitting meat, like bone cracking under boot. You see someone swing a sword wide, miss entirely, and get a spear through the gut in return. He drops, gasps, curls, and is forgotten. A man stumbles into you. You shove him away. You don't know if he's yours or theirs. It doesn't matter. Everyone's lost in the churn. Your blade comes out, slow, clumsy. It sticks for a moment, then frees with a screech of steel and rust. You raise it barely in time. A blade crashes against yours. Sparks, pain in your wrist. You swing wildly. It connects with something. Not hard, not deep, but enough to make the other man fall back. Or maybe trip. You don't chase him. Someone grabs your shoulder. You spin. It's the boy, the one who lost the bread. His eyes are wide. He says something, but his voice is drowned in the roar. Then his face changes. He looks surprised. You follow his gaze down to his chest. A blade sticks out of it, just the tip. His lips part, no sound. Then he falls, fast. Final, you move. You don't help, you don't check, you just move. Because if you stop now, you'll join him. You fight without style, without memory, just instinct. Block, duck, swing. You don't know if you're winning. You just know you're still breathing. And right now, that counts. A horn sounds again, far off. One of the sides is pulling back. You don't know which. You don't care. All that matters is the man in front of you, the one with the axe, the blood on his face, and the same fear in his eyes. You stare at each other, both breathing, both shaking, and in that second, you both understand something. No one wins here. You don't remember when the noise stopped. One moment, you were surrounded by shouting, steel on bone, mud, and screams. And then, quiet. Not total silence, but different. Quieter than death, louder than memory. Your ears ring. Your hands twitch. Your blade is missing. You don't know when you dropped it. You don't know if it ever mattered. You stand alone, knee-deep in bodies. Some still breathe. Some still move. Most don't. The field is torn apart, trampled beyond recognition, like the earth itself tried to run. Everywhere you look, red, not bright, not fresh, just soaked, sun-dried old blood mixed with new. The smell is unbearable. Copper, filth, burned leather, open guts. You gag. Nothing comes up. You haven't eaten in a day. You think about water. But the river's too far, and the camp is worse than this now. So you stay, just for a minute, just to breathe air that isn't screaming. A man limps past you. No weapon, no armor. Blood smeared from face to chest. You don't know what side he's on. You don't ask. You don't care. He doesn't look at you. A horse stands nearby, alone. Its rider gone. One leg bent wrong. It doesn't make a sound, just breathes, waiting. You wonder if it knows it's dying. You wonder if it cares. The boy is still there, The one with the bread, still on the ground, face up, eyes open. No one has closed them. You consider it, then don't, because touching anything feels impossible. Because looking too long at the dead might make you forget you're not one of them. Not yet. The sun is high now. You think it's midday, but you can't be sure. Time has lost its shape. Everything is just before or after the killing. A voice shouts orders from a hill. Something about regrouping, counting heads, rearming. You don't move. Not yet. The weight of being alive when so many others aren't. You sit down. Right there, in the middle of it all. The blood soaks your trousers. The stink fills your mouth. And still, you sit. Because you're tired. Because standing feels like a lie. Because you finally realized surviving the night was only the beginning. Time moves again. Not fast, not slow, just forward. You walk, not toward anything, just away. Away from the corpses, away from the noise, away from the version of you that died an hour ago and still hasn't noticed. You pass a man kneeling beside a body. He's whispering something, a prayer, a name, maybe both. His hands are covered in blood, but he doesn't seem to know. He rocks slowly, as if motion might undo it, as if repetition might bring the dead back. You look away, because you know it won't. The captain calls your name. You don't answer. He doesn't call again. Maybe he saw your face. Maybe he understands. Or maybe he's already forgotten who you are. You wouldn't blame him. You started to forget, too. You return to camp, or what's left of it. Tents torn, fires out, men missing. It feels smaller now, shallower, like it's sinking into the mud. You step over broken gear, dropped shields, and bodies no one has claimed, no one will. You sit near a dying fire. It doesn't warm you, but it gives you something to stare at that isn't your hands. They won't stop shaking. You press them into your knees, hard. You tell yourself it's just cold, but it's not. A medic stops beside you. He doesn't ask questions. He just looks. Then he moves on. Whatever he saw in your face, it didn't need bandages, because some wounds don't bleed. Some wounds stay quiet, buried behind the eyes. The boy who slept beside you is gone. The coughing man, gone. The thief, gone. You try to remember their names. You never asked, and now it's too late. A man screams in one of the tents. Sharp, short, then silence. No one moves to check. Not because they don't care, because they already know. You lie down on damp straw. Your body is too tired to protest. Your mind too full to think. You close your eyes, but sleep doesn't come. Only memory. Memory of swinging steel, of stumbling over faces, of the moment you stopped caring who lived and who didn't. You survived the night and the day, but it doesn't feel like survival. It feels like theft, like you stole something from the dead just to keep breathing, and you're not sure you deserved it. The sun sinks behind the hills. The sky turns the color of rust. Blood thins into gold, then ash, then black. And just like that, night returns. But it's different now. This isn't the same night you survived before. This one doesn't ask questions. It knows what you are. The fire near you cracks quietly. Someone's feeding it with broken spears, splintered shields, scraps of what was once protection. Not peaceful, just emptied. Fewer voices, fewer shadows. The men who survived don't talk much. What's left to say? Everything they would have said got buried in the mud with the ones who didn't make it back. You sit alone, not because no one's near, but because no one feels near. Distance isn't just steps. It's what happens when you've seen something that won't let anyone else back in. And you've seen it. Your armor is off. What's left of it? Scratched, bent, smeared with blood you don't recognize. You stare at your hands, not shaking anymore, just still, too still. They look like they belong to someone else, someone harder, someone quieter. The man across from you mumbles in his sleep. He flinches once, twice, then stills. Someone stirs a pot over the fire. The smell is weak, boiled roots, maybe meat. Your stomach growls, but you don't move. You're not sure if you're hungry or just empty. Sometimes they feel the same. A dog wanders through the tents, thin. You lie back, look at the stars. They're the same ones as before, still there, still shining. You wonder how they can shine after a day like this. Then again, they've watched 1,000 battles, 1,000 camps, 1,000 men become less than men. Maybe they don't care anymore either. You close your eyes, not to sleep, just to rest, just for a minute. The night wraps around you again, not like a threat, like a shroud, soft, heavy, inevitable. You wake before dawn again, but this time it's different. No trumpet, and a strange feeling in your chest. Not peace, not fear, just nothing. You sit up, your body aches, but the pain feels dull now, familiar, like an old wound you've stopped hoping will heal. Around you, the camp is half asleep. A few men move, most don't. Some stare at the ground, some at the fire. No one speaks. Even the wind has forgotten how to whistle. You drink from a dented tin cup. The water tastes like smoke, but you drink it anyway. You've learned not to be picky, not with water, not with pain, not with anything. You watch the sun begin to rise. It peaks slowly over the horizon. The way a man checks a room he's afraid to enter. The light touches the camp, like it doesn't want to be here either. And you don't blame it. You stand. The motion feels easier now, not because you're stronger, because you've stopped resisting the weight. It's part of you now, like the scars, like the silence, like the look in your eyes you haven't seen but feel. You walk through the camp, past empty tents, past torn boots, past the broken spear someone planted upright in the dirt, like a grave marker with no name. You don't stop. You don't speak, because there's nothing left to say to a place that already buried you and kept walking. You think about home, whatever that means now. You think about what you'll say if you make it back. Then you realize you don't have words for what this did to you, and no one would understand, even if you did. The captain gives orders, softly. Another march, another field, another war that isn't yours but needs your body. You nod, you step in line, because refusing means nothing now, because you're already part of the machine. You survived the night and the day and the silence after. But survival isn't what they told you it would be. It's not a triumph. It's not a badge. It's a ghost you carry in your chest that never sleeps. As the line begins to move, you glance back. One last look at the battlefield camp you came to in one piece and left as someone else. You don't cry. You don't flinch. You just walk. Because now you know the truth. It's not the dying that breaks you. It's what you live through after. So you survived the night, the hunger, the cold, the screams, the silence. You marched through blood-soaked earth and saw what men become when the sun vanishes and steel is the only language spoken. You stood where others fell. You breathed when they did not. But this story was never about death. It was about what survives it. and what it costs to come back from a place that was never meant to let you leave whole. Because in the end, the worst thing about the battlefield camp isn't that it might kill you. It's that if it doesn't, you'll never be the same again. Night has fallen, not the kind that feels gentle or quiet. This is a thick, heavy darkness, the kind that presses against your skin and sinks into your lungs. The fires have burned low, too low to warm you, too low to see clearly. Wood is rationed. Smoke draws attention, and attention gets people killed. You can't see faces, now only shapes. Men hunched like broken statues, blankets pulled up to their eyes. Some sleep sitting, some don't sleep at all. And no one speaks. The silence is not peaceful, it's tense, alive. Even the wind moves differently here, cautious, like it knows what happened the last time someone made too much noise. You shift your weight. The ground is wet beneath you. Cold seeps into your bones. There's no position that feels right. Your back hurts. Your fingers twitch from the cold. Your feet are starting to go numb. Next to you, a man moves. He turns slowly, his face lit by the dying fire, sunken eyes, colorless skin, no expression. He doesn't speak, just looks, then turns away. You don't know him, you don't want to, because here names become graves. You hear chewing nearby. Someone's gnawing a bone loud, slow, desperate, not for nutrition, just something to keep their mouth busy. You stare at the shape in the dark, listening to every wet crunch. Your stomach tightens. You'd chew that bone too. If it dropped, you'd crawl to it through the filth, but it won't drop. Then a scream, not a man's, a horse's, high-pitched, frightened, ending to suddenly, you freeze. Men start shouting. Boots thud through the mud. Another scream, human this time, then silence. The fire crackles softly beside you. No one moves. No one asks what happened. Everyone already knows. You glance up. No stars, just smoke. The moon is a pale smear, buried in cloud and ash. You try to rest, but something scuttles across your leg. A rat. You flinch, but don't bother brushing it off. It's not the worst thing touching you tonight. The man next to you shifts. His elbow brushes yours. His skin is hot, too hot, fever. You inch away, too late. Somewhere far off, a woman sings a soft lullaby. You don't understand the words, but the meaning is clear. It's a song for the dying. You close your eyes, not to sleep, not to dream, just to forget what's around you. Because here, sleep doesn't come when you're ready. It comes when your body gives up. You try to lie down. The ground is cold, unforgiving. Your shoulder presses into a sharp rock. You shift. There's another and another. You give up. You stare at the sky. But there are no stars, only smoke and clouds, and silence, broken now and then by groaning. Not the kind of groan people make when they sleep. The kind they make when they remember something too horrible to forget, or feel pain they can't push away anymore. You close your eyes, try to rest, but your ears stay open. Every rustle of fabric, every crunch of a boot in the mud, every low voice, every scream. Yes, someone screams, just once, then nothing. No one moves, no one asks, no one wants to know. You are alone, surrounded by men, and alone. Your hands shake, not from fear, not entirely, from cold, from exhaustion. You haven't held a sword in 2 days, but your fingers still feel stiff. Tomorrow you'll have to fight, maybe. Or maybe you'll spend the whole day dragging corpses. Maybe your corpse will be one of them. You close your eyes again. There's a moment, brief, where you forget the cold, where you drift just slightly, but something scurries over your hand. Fast, furry, gone. A rat. You don't open your eyes. You just pull your hand under your cloak and try not to cry.